welcome back to my little corner. Today we're diving into a topic that I get asked about all the time. Like one of the top 3 questions that people ask me as a mom, and especially as a mom of multiple children. And that topic is the pros and cons of spacing out your children 3 to 4 years apart. So my oldest and my middle child are 3 years apart, and my middle and my youngest are 4 years apart. So whether you're planning your family or just curious about that sibling dynamic, stick around because I'm going to talk all about that. Before we get into the good, juicy advice, I want to give a quick life update because I know back in January I said I'm going to vlog once a month, or really twice a month is my goal. And here it is, April, and I've done a couple shorts. Okay, I have been posting, but I haven't been doing any long form content. And so here I am. On month 4, I'm back again. I'm not going to make any promises for the future, okay? I'm just going to be where I'm at today because I can't keep on stressing myself out with trying to do everything perfectly. Anyway, that was too much. Back to my life update, okay? So when I last saw you in January, I had an injured foot from Christmas Eve. I was about to start grad school classes, but I don't think I had started yet. And of course, all the other things that are going on in my life. So those 2 things are still the same. Yes, my foot is still injured. It's just taking a very long time to heal. My last option that I'm really trying to put off, especially until after my birthday, which is April 28th, shout out to the Taurus, I'll have to have a cast on my foot. Yeah, and I really don't want to go down that path. So I hope that with chiropractor and the injection, like hopefully that is like the perfect secret sauce to like get me back. And also grad school is going well, you guys. It is super overwhelming. I am not gonna lie. I don't know how I'm achieving all of the work that I've achieved, but somehow I'm working it out and I'm very proud of myself. Yeah. I did have like a slight mood shift about a week or 2 ago where I started questioning, like, what am I doing? What is the purpose? Why am I in school again? And I have to keep reminding myself that I'm doing this because it's what I really want outside of what capitalism deems important or necessary. And that's very hard to do, because even as I say it, I'm like, but is that dumb? Like, should I just be choosing to do career paths that are super lucrative and that I know I'll make all my money back? That's the life update. All the boys got haircuts yesterday, so Arrow's showing off his little haircut. It's so cute. What else has happened? Since I last saw you, Arrow has gotten stitches on his forehead. He was running full speed, fell, busted a hole right in the middle of his head. But yeah, everybody is doing well. I guess he wants me to stop talking. So let's move on to the pros and cons of spacing your children out 3 to 4 years apart. Let's go. 3 to 4 years is actually a very common spacing for families. It has some unique advantages and challenges that we'll get into. All right, let's start with the pros because there are definitely some big benefits to using this spacing. So the first pro of this age spacing, 3 to 4 years apart, is the independence of your first child. Your first child will likely be more independent by the time you have your next child, meaning that they're already potty trained, they're sleeping through the night, and in some cases they may be going to like a pre-K program. They have like their own little activities that you take them to, which keep them entertained for you, which is really nice when they get to that toddler stage. Pro 2. Another thing I like about this age gap is that it's easier to divide up your attention than if they're clustered together and you kind of feel like you have to do the same thing for both of them. With this age gap, you're able to dedicate quality time to each of your children. So say, for instance, you have a 3-year-old and a newborn. You're able to put the baby to sleep and then go spend time just with your 3-year-old doing 3-year-old things. And then same thing, like when the 3-year-old is occupied, you have the time to spend on the newborn. Like with my oldest, I had 3 years just with him. And then by the time baby came, I was able to dedicate that whole 3-year period again to the new baby. Of course, I'm like toggling between 2, but the attention and the effort that you put in at those stages is so different. I really can't imagine like if I had 2 small kids crying at the same time, like how would I handle that, or like two baby, like just for me, I just can't wrap my brain around it. People do it and I am always amazed by them, but for me, I need to be able to divide up the type of energy and the type of attention that I'm giving to each child, because too much of the same would just like put me over the edge. Is that my purse? This kid right here. Okay, pro 3. The oldest is a built-in buddy slash helper, and it is the best. Like, once they're old enough to have that independence, you're able to say, hey, can you help mommy do this thing? And usually at that age, they still enjoy helping you. You know, once they get to like 7 or 8, they're like, bro, I'm tired, I don't want to do anything. You're like, what? At 3, they're like, sure, mommy, I'll help you. And they're like eager to do the things that you might ask them to do. But also the built-in buddy is like legit the best, because when I had the one by himself, I was his best friend. He was entertained by no one else. He found nothing else intriguing. But when he got that little brother, oh my gosh, obsessed. Like, can he sit with me? Can he do this with me? And they just automatically had the most amazing bond. And it was the same thing when Arrow came along. Like, they love their little brother. They want to make him do everything that they do. And of course, he wants to do everything that they do. Pro 4 is the financial planning aspect. This part you really cannot be naive about, because programs cost money, whether that's, you know, daycare or dance or soccer. You're able to kind of space them out. You don't have to pay for all of those fees at once. Like I said, if Noah was going to pre-K 3, Arrow was a newborn, so he was still home with me, and we were only paying for Noah to go to pre-K 3, and like, it wasn't, we got to pay for both. The same thing like with soccer. Like, Noah's playing club soccer now, but Eli's not ready for that level, so he's still playing recreation, and the price difference between those is astronomical. Okay, if we had to pay for both of those right now, which we will, but we have time to get there, you know? All right, now we're gonna switch over to the cons. So as much as I love this spacing, it is not without its disadvantages and challenges, okay? I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. The first con, that would be restarting the baby phase. That has got to be the worst part for me for 2 reasons. The first reason is, like, we just finished potty training. We just like got back to like being able to go out and have a good time, you know, and people were willing to watch the kids because they're old enough. And then you go back to that newborn phase. Do you hear it? Yeah, it's not fun. You go back to that, and I just remember I was changing Arrow one day, and I really just sat there like, why did I do this again? Like, I'm changing diapers again. What about this appealed to me? But the other part of that restarting the baby phase thing too is, if you're like me, I mean, I'm not super fit or super active, but I am active enough. And after each one of the kids is like, I would get myself back to a place where I'm like, finally, like, I like my body. I feel good in my body. I'm not, you know, going through all of these things, like figuring out what size I'm supposed to wear and all of that. Like, I'm good. And then boom, here comes another one. Now I got to reset my body again. That part sucks. It really sucks. That alone had me thinking, like, I should have had these kids closer, because why would I work so hard to get back in shape just to ruin it all again? You know, that really made me feel like I probably should have had them closer together for just for that reason alone, because I'm shallow. No, but changing diapers too and staying up, let me go back. Starting that baby phase over once you got back to a good sleep schedule too. Like, this last child really had me questioning a lot of things at 3 a.m. in the morning, because I was like, who was supposed to do this? How much longer? I swear to you, when I got to like my wit's end, it was like God just was like, okay, I'm gonna let this be over. And he stopped waking up through the night, because I was starting to go crazy. I swear, it was so hard to do. So yeah, that's another part of that baby phase where you're just like, dang, I was in a good place. Why did I do this to myself? Okay, moving on. Con number 2. Different interests between kids. So I talked to you guys in the first part about how a pro is that you don't have to pay for everything at the same time. But the flip side of that, which is where I'm at with my oldest two, and even the youngest, they're all at different phases in their life, and their interests are different. For example, Noah loves Six Flags, right? and he got season passes for his birthday. Of course, Eli wants to go too. He's not old enough to ride most of the rides. So I'm like, why don't we leave you at home and just me and Noah go? But of course, that's going to be like a whole thing. But it would just make sense if I just took the bigger one, because then me and him can ride stuff together. Because if I bring the younger one, he can't ride most of the stuff. What is wrong? Oh, just high level. If they aren't in the same, if they don't have the same interest, then you have to go to 2 different places, right? Like one likes basketball and one likes soccer. So now you have to sign up for 2 different things and go to 2 different locations. That obviously would be annoying, right? But then there's the different age segment situation. So they both like soccer, but because you have one that's this age, their program starts at 9 a.m. The other one starts at 1 p.m. And then the oldest one starts at 4 p.m. And it's like, I'm not going to be doing this one thing all day. And so some groups, if they're like 6 and 7, they'll probably still be together in the same group, depending on the activity. So yeah, that part does make this a bit challenging. I can't lie on that. Con number 3 is sibling jealousy. Now, I would say that this mostly happens like once the new baby comes in, and you know, that little one is still 3 or 4, so they're not older to where they understand the difference, and they still kind of need a lot of attention. So there could be jealousy there where you're like constantly doing things for the baby and they are like, okay, mom, what about me? You know, that happens. The toddler's vying for your attention because you're giving a lot of it to the baby. That will probably be like the biggest issue. Come here. Lastly, con number 4 is that you're extending your parenting timeline. Now, this is going to vary person to person because it may not be a big deal to you, but for someone like me, ever since I had my first kid, I'm like, okay, at this age, I'll start to get my own life back, and I'll have this time where I can do all these things that I'm not necessarily doing right now, or just enjoying myself in a more free way that I didn't give myself in my 20s, you know? Just not the same, okay? Because being free in your 20s and being free in your 50s, those are 2 different experiences, for better or worse. Each one has its cons and pros. But for me, that's something that is a big deal to me. Like I wanted to make sure I was done having children by a certain age because I want them to be grown and out of my way at a certain point, which they'll always need me and I'll always be there for them. But the part where I'm just so much involved and giving so much of my time and so much of myself, that's going to end one day, you know, and I'm not rushing it at all. I love it here, but I am looking forward to reclaiming my time, okay? So that is something to think about if it's important to you to have a portion of your life that is going to be child-free. Now, if you've waited and you've spent your younger years not having children, then maybe it's not the same. But for someone like me, in my experience, who started having children in her 20s, yeah, a part of me is like, okay, I can't spend my whole life raising babies. So yeah, anyway, those are just a couple things to consider if you are interested in figuring out what kind of age gap dynamic will work best for you, for your family, or if you're just curious about what that looks like, even if you don't plan to parent any children and you just want to know the information. Every family dynamic has its challenges and its great things. So take from this what you will, but don't try to find out what's perfect and all of that, because you'll never know unless you just do it. So thanks for watching. I hope that you learned something new, and leave a comment and let me know what the age gap is in your family, or which one that you're planning to have, or if there was something that surprised you about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with someone who you know may be planning their family. Okay, see you next time. I promise it won't be in 4 months, but I can't promise you it'll be in 1. Love you. Bye.